What defines a survival game? Some might say it's the ever-present reminder of your own mortality, the constant need to eat, drink, and sleep in order to keep your health and sanity intact. According to this definition, a survival game is identifiable by a pervasive sense of dread, with danger lurking around every corner and limited resources with which to stay alive. This month I picked up Dysmantled, a survival game that eschews these common notions of survival and asks players to instead focus on enjoying the journey. Developed by Finnish studio 10 Tons, Dysmantle turned out to be an absolute delight, filled with the perfect combination of mystery, adventure, and just a dash of horror. Dysmantled's story isn't really the focus of the game, but 10 Tons has included a fascinating tale nonetheless. The game opens on the main character, a gruff, middle-aged man, emerging from his bunker to find the island he once called home has been overrun with strange mutants. As far as he can tell, no other humans have managed to survive. The central goal of the game is to find a way off this island, which took me to each corner of the map in search of rare resources that I needed to power up an escape pod. But while this might be how to technically beat the game, it isn't where Dysmantled expends the majority of its narrative energy. Instead, Dysmantled is more concerned with challenging players to unravel the island's various mysteries. Relics around the island reveal the origins of the island and the settlers who first lived there, while radio broadcasts hint at the cause of the cataclysm that sent the main character into his bunker in the first place.
This is an automated recording sent from K23, the Crown Station.
Both plotlines weave together in an alluring way that make each discovery feel genuine and exciting. Every radio broadcast features the same robotic voice reciting a different, vaguely threatening message of loyalty and solidarity, while the relics relay the story of the God King who ruled over the early inhabitants of the island with his mastery of sorcery. Dysmantled employs this subtle storytelling beautifully, doling it out in bits and pieces throughout the journey. Picking them up never felt necessary, but finding each new puzzle piece added a bit more color to the world around me. The gradual plot delivery was a highlight of my experience, and I'm eager to go back and find all the collectibles I missed. Dysmantled borrows some of the best elements from just about every genre, melding them into something that feels unique and familiar at the same time. At its core, though, it's a game about crafting. Well, specifically about destroying everything around you, then crafting. Everything in this game can be deconstructed. Mailboxes, telephone poles, even the buildings themselves. But many of these items can't be torn down just yet, and in this way, the opening hours of the game do feel a little narrow. But Dysmantled is, by design, not a game that's meant to be rushed. As I leveled up and acquired new, more powerful weapons, the game opened up in a big way. Now I could cook dishes that gave me permanent benefits, destroy more durable pieces of the environment, and smash through the island's monsters with ease. There was something about the loop of spending resources to find more resources that never really grew old. It always felt like I was making some small amount of progress, like the game was rewarding me for everything I did, no matter how small. Every upgrade helped me push a little further into the island, where even more dangerous enemies were waiting. Dysmantled is filled with a horrifying collection of mutated humans that were determined to bring my quest to a premature end. These aren't the slow-moving shufflers of zombie movie fare, though. These guys will chase you down with zeal. Not only that, but there's an impressive group of variants that all add their own unique combat mechanics to the fray. Fortunately, there's a wonderful collection of weapons and tools to take enemies out with a variety of strategies. The tried-and-true melee options are always available, but there are also throwable weapons that are useful for taking enemies out at a distance. There are other, more creative combat options as well, but discovering them is part of the fun. Dysmantled is remarkable in how attentive it is to some of the smaller details of its design, a trait no doubt born from its initial release in early access on PC. These are just small touches like letting players respawn all enemies in a region at a higher difficulty, or retrieving items that have already been placed in the storage box, but they go a long way to making the game feel more fully realized. The only issue I had with the game was its limited fast travel mechanics and checkpointing system. Restricting fast travel to very specific, often poorly placed points on the map never really felt good, and the poor checkpointing at campfires often left me backtracking across half the map just to get back to where I'd left off. With so many different systems to explore and engage with, playing Dysmantled never really felt stale. Whether I was trying to find the last few ingredients for a dish or exploring an overgrown settlement for new resources, I found even the most mundane tasks to be enjoyable and engrossing. Dysmantled uses a robust array of grotesque noises to fill every environment with a fittingly post-apocalyptic soundscape. Each enemy type approaches the player with a unique battle cry, whether that's the hiss of the standard mutant or the high-pitched scream of a more aggressive variant. The sound of wind through the trees or over desert dunes would often be accompanied by the crackling of a nearby campfire or the quiet burble of a river. The environmental art design works in tandem with the audio to lure players into something resembling a false sense of security. There's a sense of peace to everything, often in spite of the environment's dilapidated appearance. It doesn't hurt that there's a staggering amount of biodiversity in the game, with snow-capped hills, a blistering desert, and dense forests all existing on the same island. The biggest improvement 10 Tons could include in this game is the ability to more easily travel across its landscape. While I would love to see more efficient fast travel mechanics, I think even something like a vehicle to more quickly move through the world would go a long way to reducing the tedium of moving back through fully explored areas. Another additional feature I'd love to see is a customizable weapon/tool wheel. The game currently only has 4 slots for major tools or weapons, and you can only switch between them in a set order. It makes swapping to a specific tool harder than it needs to be, and feels unnecessarily limiting to the overall experience. Dysmantled was an unexpected delight and one I intend on seeing through to the very end. There's an incredible amount of content here, and it miraculously never manages to feel stale. I can easily see myself sinking dozens of hours into this game, and there's still plenty left to explore. From its captivating mysteries to its satisfying destruction system, Dysmantled is an easy recommendation to fans of almost any genre.